Hello everyone, you're watching Newcastle 11 Times YouTube channel. My name's Rob, and on today's show I'm joined by Paul, Len and Owen. And first and foremost, before I begin, I hope you've all had a very good Christmas and all the best for 2024. So on today's show, we're just going to briefly touch on the Liverpool game before we move forward to Saturday's review show against our friends from the dark side. So Paul, do you want to start the show off, your reflections from the Liverpool game?
Yeah, but I think before the game, Rob, I don't think anyone was too confident of getting the result at Anfield, after the performances we've had there over the years. Obviously, when the match started, it was like a bit like the Alamo, wasn't it? We seemed to stem the tide at one stage, got back into the game, but they were still creating so many chances. We're just, at the minute, I just think we're so open. It's like one ball through the midfield and that clean through. I just don't know what's happened to the pressing. Away from home, there's a lack of confidence. Every second ball we don't seem to win. The defence were conceding so many chances. I mean, to concede 34 shots or something in a game, I mean, I don't even think Sheffield United will do that when they go there. But the alarm bells have been there all season. I think away from home, when it started at Brighton, it's just a certain ball through the middle. Nobody... If you cut the midfield out with one pass, you've got like a 40-yard run on our goal. We're desperate for a number 6. I don't know what the problem is. It's just we're going to have to sort this out, because I don't even think we're going to get into Europe at this rate if we don't stem the tide, But I'm getting back to the Liverpool game. Obviously, we got the half-time 0-0. And then just after half-time, they get the opening goal. I think in the second half, what happened is they weren't pressing. What they decided to do was just sit back and let us go forward. And now every time a team counters on with us, they seem to score. I think they must have been watching the Forest game, because they seem to let us have the ball, suck it in, and then one or two passes. We're so easy to counter-attack now. I think it must be the easiest side in the league to counter-attack against. And like I said, Klopp just said the tactics changed. We'll just counter on them, and then they did. Obviously, we got the goal back with Isak, which was a good goal, good one from Gordon. And then a few minutes later, we just let them back into the game. I was never confident, even when we got back to once each. I thought these are just going to score on the next attack, and ultimately they did. And then they got the 3-1. Another goal from that our left-hand side. Dan Burn not cutting the cross out again. Gapco looked offside, but he wasn't. Got back to 3-2 with Botman's goal, which was a good header. And that went in off his shoulder, but it was a good header. And then the fourth one, it was just a touch of the old Torval and Dean, wasn't it? It was just... I mean, he was practically in the crowd when he went over. I mean, for him to give that referee, he should be banned. He should have a 6-month ban, to be honest. Disgraceful decision. And VAR to say... Oh, yes, it was actually, was a penalty. Even the first one I thought was dodgy in the first half. I thought he went down late, Diaz. And then, obviously, Eddie Howe was on about Longstaff. So that could have been given, the Longstaff penalty. And they scored from that straight away. But I just think at the minute, we didn't deserve anything out of the game, let's be honest. I mean, they were by far the better side. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I just think I would keep saying we're going to get players back, but still we've got a lot of quality on the pitch. We should be doing more than what we've actually got on the pitch at the minute. Gordon looks spent. Almiron, I mean, he brought Almiron on. There was one chance when I think he had Longstaff and Isak crying for the ball, and he decided to hit it into the cup. I mean, it's so frustrating. It just really is. I don't know what the answer is. I just hope we'll get on to the Sunderland game, but we can't. I don't think we can afford to lose that game.
No, it's a massive game when you look at the recent run of results that we've had. Saturday's massive. It's huge. It's a massive.
We just look a shadow of the side from last season. Yeah. I mean, last season we were going away from home, and now we've had Europe and all that this season, but we should be doing something away from home. We look terrible. Well, we're record shocking.
Yeah, very good, Paul. Owen, do you want to pick up on from the Liverpool game?
Yeah, I don't think there's much I can add in terms of how the game went. Rob, I think that Paul's sort of hit the nail on the head with a lot of things. I mean, we're all absolutely polar opposite of what we were last year. You know, you look at some of the results last year. When we went to Arsenal, we drew 0-0. There's probably other games I kind of remember, but we look so tight, we look compact, we look like a unit. And Paul's right. I just think I don't know, the last 5 or 6 games stemming from the Everton game, I guess. We look like we're playing the full 90 minutes as if it's the last 5 minutes of a game where everything's in a rush and we're stretched, and you know, midfield there's no one sort of holding or whatever. So yeah, tactically it's the first time I've sort of half thought, well, you know, I'll question some of the things that we're doing, but at the same time, you know, I always like to keep a sort of optimistic hat on and think, well, yeah, we'll have had a lot of games. Players are being overplayed. We have suffered from a lot of injuries. We had the Tonali situation, etc. So I'd always like to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'd probably give the benefit of the doubt until the end of the season, because I think that Howe has earned the right to have that by the end of the season. I mean, come next season, it might be a different story. I couldn't really argue if people are saying, well, you know, it might need a change or whatever. I don't think it's quite at that stage yet. I don't think it's panic station. I don't think that, you know, we'll have to make any rash decisions. But yeah, just the game itself, it was like, I would love to say it was a tale of 3 penalties, but I can't even use that. Although I did think that their 2 penalties weren't penalties. I think the first one, he stood on Botman's foot, and it's sort of, you know, that's caused the contact. And the second one, well, you know, Anna's is right. It's just ridiculous. The fact that I think Ian Wright hit the nail on the head, and he tweeted out there saying that, why would a centre forward want to go down instead of putting the ball in the back of the net? I just, you know, he didn't get it, and that sums everything up. But that said, you know, we can't make excuses in terms of the 2 penalties he got, and the one that we definitely should have had, by the way, Longstaff was fouled. One thing I will say on that is that we didn't make a meal of that, and I'd love to see our players doing what Man United do, and Arsenal and Liverpool, where they're running to the ref and putting a bit of pressure on, because we didn't do that. It's almost like we rolled over and accepted, way, you know, it's not going to happen. He's not going to give a penalty. So that was frustrating. But yeah, overall, Rob didn't deserve to win the game. They had a lot of possession, a lot of shots until they picked us off with a counter. What I will say, trying to be positive, is that it was more spirited. I think that, you know, lads put a shift in. There was effort there. There was guile. There was desire. There was everything that went with that. But at the same time, sorry, you know, what matters now is results. And you're right, we'll have to go into this game on Saturday, and we've got to win. It's as simple as that. We'll have to win the game, you know.
Very good one. Ben?
Well, try and add something to that. I mean, you know, I think you've just reminded me what was annoying me all night, and it was Klopp on the bench.
Oh, God.
God almighty.
He started the Jurgen.
I was
Len, did you
texting
see? You know, when they've got a penalty and they're 3-2 up, why is he turning the other way? Is it because the camera's on him? Just for effect.
But all the time, the camera's on him. The camera's on him non-stop, right? And he's chewing the ear off the 4th official on every
decision.
It's just ridiculous. Anyway, we'll move on from that. At the end of the day, Liverpool were outstanding. It was as simple as that. They were bloody marvellous. You know, from start to finish, they just were great to watch. I expected we would get beat by more than 2 goals. So I suppose when you look at 4-2, it was better than what I thought it was going to be. I did think we'd get an absolute pace. And I mean, the expected goals of 7.5 is a record in the Premier League. So the match should have ended 7-0 if you base it on expected goals. And it probably wouldn't have, you know, it wouldn't have been far out. It was a more spirited, as you say, a more spirited display. We did score 2 good goals. Dubravka was outstanding. So any doubters out there, you've got to look at Dubravka and think maybe, you know, he's not a bad keeper. You know, whether he's good enough to be second choice or whatever as time goes on, I don't know. But he did prove to be, you know, to keep the goals down, really, because he made some great saves. I thought the referee had a good first half. And going to that penalty you're talking about, I just remember it going through, and he falls over about 2 minutes after he's lost the ball. Dubravka gets booked, and I think to myself, oh, thank God for VAR here, because obviously they'll realise it's not a penalty, and obviously the yellow card will be rescinded. And I went in the kitchen, I came back out, I thought, I didn't believe it. It's still a penalty. So the referee had a good first half, terrible second half, I thought. Joe Linton, there's an interesting point here. Nobody's mentioned that. I didn't understand the Joe Linton situation. You might remember, or you might not. In the first half, the referee played an excellent advantage. I'm certain, and I think even the commentators were confused because they talked about it in the second half. I'm certain that after the game had continued and they failed to score, Joe Linton should have got a yellow card. and ultimately would have been sent off in the second half. So that was a
but
bit
Len,
of
I think he wouldn't have made that tackle if he'd already been on our booking.
right. That's
I don't
fair
think he
enough.
would have
We agree
slid
he
in
should have
like
been
that.
booked, but they should have booked him in the
Yeah, he
first
should have
half.
been booked, but I don't think he would have made that tackle that he did to get booked in the second half.
Yeah, because you'll know that would have been the case.
Yeah.
So I think that penalty sort of finished off that penalty decision, because I think at that point, from memory, I think we were 3-2.
Yeah, we
we could have. Well, that's what I'm thinking. We could have somehow committed daylight robbery and got a draw. But as soon as that penalty was awarded, you knew it was game over. Ultimately, Liverpool were great. We weren't. It was men against boys. It was a big lesson. And I tell you what, it does not put some pressure on Saturday's game now, I think.
Doesn't it just?
Can I just make one other point? I think it was disgraceful when Lewis Miley made that tackle. He won the ball. Mo Salah's begging the ref to send him off. 17-year-old kid, and Mo Salah's begging the ref to send him off. I thought that was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Van Dijk and Salah, you know what I mean?
For shocking. I hope we never go down to them levels. Like,
do you know?
It's win at all costs, man. Win at all costs.
Well, I know you want to move on, Rob, but just regarding the penalty, right? For Dubravka, Len just made a point there. He got a yellow card. Why did he not get a red card then? If it was a
foul.
That to me epitomises the fact that they know they've made the wrong decision, because it would be like a double whammy if they had sent him off as well as.
I think they've changed the rules on that one. I don't think automatically send you off now. They've changed it.
It's not double jeopardy anymore.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. All right, I didn't know that.
They've changed. No, they've changed.
If they have, they've changed
double
that for
robbery.
the better.
Double robbery now.
Because you used to get a red card and go down to 10 men, which really and go a goal down effectively. So that's probably a good decision. But I think overall the refereeing was dubious in the second half. I think the first half, obviously there wasn't many incidents, particularly in the first half, but in the second half, I don't know, that VAR, man. Honestly, I wish we didn't have to talk about it every single week.
There's like every week now, isn't it? Every
yeah, but it's so obvious that's not, that's not a penalty. You know, he has no reason to go down. There's been minimal contact. Yeah, if he wants to chuck himself down, do it straight away. Don't wait and step forward 2 more paces. So it's just disappointing that, you know, at the time where we could have sneaked something, as we've all said, we didn't deserve anything from the game. But, you know, sometimes you do pick up points here and there, and what an uplift it would have been to somehow snatch something from it. I think, Owen, you're right, though. I did think it was a more spirited performance. I thought it was a superb second half from a neutral's point of view. You know, it was a great game of football, but not from Newcastle United's point of view.
We've got to keep the ball better. We just can't seem to keep the ball anymore. We can't pass the ball.
Actually, I've got an interesting, just very quickly, because I know we're dying to talk about the Mackhams, but I just wonder, and I know it seems stupid to think we're missing, could the goalkeeper situation be you know, could we be missing Pope? Was this where it's all started? You know, this bad run started where Pope's been out the team. Is Pope even more important to the whole team and squad?
Well, to the back 4 years, because he's a talker. He commands. He's like a sweeper, isn't he, Pope?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times has Dubravka come out and not won the ball?
Yeah.
He's in no man's land.
I think it's made a huge impact, Len. I think that's a good point. It's not a coincidence. It's a huge impact in terms of just his presence. You know, if you look, he gets a lot of criticism of the way that he kicks the ball now. To be honest with you, I'm not too fussed about that now, because I think he offers an awful lot more in terms of sweeping up the game. I think that his awareness and his anticipation of balls coming over the top, you know, that's what we miss at the minute. And I think, you know, and as you were saying that we cut open and stuff like that, I'm not saying that, you know, that would have made a difference against Liverpool, but I think there's been a couple of games where it would have made a difference in terms of his prominence, that, you know, the back four knows they've got to keep out and come and sweep up and what have you. So I think he's a massive miss, a huge miss in terms of just his general presence. Like,
he's not given a couple of penalties away when he's come out and took the player out as well. It was at Everton, Tottenham. Was it Everton, Tottenham? I know he definitely did, when he come out and took the player out. It's his decision. There's a couple of times he's just rushed out and been nowhere near the ball. The Forest game as well, when Woods went round him and that.
Right, I think we'll wrap that up there in terms of the Liverpool game. Some great points, great discussions. So we're going to move on now to Saturday. Oh, dear me. Well, I think we've already touched on it in light of our recent results. I think Eddie Howe's under quite a bit of pressure to get a result on Saturday. Like, I really do. And I think we'll win. I do think we'll win, but we need to be on the ball, like, pardon the pun, because I think it'll be blood and thunder, isn't it? I think that goes without saying. So, Paul, what's your take for Saturday? How do you see the game going? What do you think the result will be?
There's a lot of questions there, Rob.
I'll try and keep it short and sweet. I don't want to confuse you.
I'll take the first one and then I'll move on to your 7th point later.
Thank you.
Well, we can't afford to lose it, can we? I think, and to be honest, can he make many changes for that game? I'm thinking maybe if Trippier's fit, Livramento at left back, bit pace. Obviously Shaw, or does he bring Lascelles in with it being like a derby? I don't know. I know Botman's going to play. Midfield, I think it'll be hard to take Miley out the side, but does he bring Almiron back in, meaning Joe Linton goes back in the middle and you've got Bruno and Longstaff, keep Miley on the bench. I know Wilson's out for the remainder of the month again. So I think we definitely need a forward in this window, because if Isak gets injured, we've got no forwards again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think he probably will bring Miggy back in, and Gordon, and that should be enough to see the Mackems off. Because at the end of the day, we're still, there's still too much quality. There's still a gap, isn't there? But I know form guns at the wind in derbies. But I think the first goal is really important in this match. Because I think if we get it and they have to come out with then, I think we'll just pick them off on the break. It'll be 3 or 4. But I think if they can get a goal and then you see our heads gone doing a bit, then you've got Joe Linton and Bruno starting to lose their heads in the middle because the crowd will be on them.
That's going to be key. Yeah, that's going to be key. Them two. Yeah.
That's the worry for me, if them two lose their heads. But I know they haven't got many big lads. That's the good thing about it. And physically, I think we should just do them because they've got a lot of young lads. And like I say, if we get the first goal, then their heads could go and the quality will demolish them on the break, I think.
So,
but they seem to play better against better sides because they beat Southampton 5-0, they beat West Brom and Leeds. So, they can't turn good teams out there in their league. But, Coventry went there the other week and won 3-0, so you just don't know what you're going to get with them, do you? So
what's your score prediction then, Paul, for Saturday?
My prediction, 4-0.
4-0 to Newcastle?
Yeah, 4-0.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Len, how are you see Saturday going?
4-0. Jesus, I'll have a pint of what you've been drinking over the New Year, Paul. I would say 4-0 if we were up and running like we were a few months ago, without a doubt. In fact, I remember saying on here, I think we're light years ahead of Sunderland and I'm not worried in the slightest. And Owen was saying, no, I'm really worried. I don't like derby days. I want to be, I don't want to be there. I don't want to get it, and I fully understand that. I'm now feeling like Owen was a few weeks ago. I've even just you talked about it there, Paul. I'm starting, I don't know whether I'm excited, nervous or what, but that's what football is all about, right? It's an FA Cup day. I agree with you. I think you'll make 1 or 2 changes. You tend to feel certain players will be more suited to a derby match. I'm not sure what the starting 11 will be, but it will be more than good enough to beat Sunderland. I don't know. A replay's been going through my mind, but I don't want to think too much about that because that'll be better than getting beat. So I think we're just going to sneak it. So I'm certainly not as positive as Paul about it. I think we'll sneak it, and I think the final score will be Sunderland 1, Newcastle United 2.
Okay, excellent, man. Owen?
Yeah, just to add what Len said there. Like I said before, I hate them. I'm not excited by the game. I'm not looking forward to it. And it's not a case that I'm worried. It's just I've never liked the derby sort of the days and stuff like that. Personally, I think there's 2 things that worry us. We shouldn't really be worried if we didn't have this run where we haven't won, or whatever, we've lost 7 out of 8 games. I don't think we'd have any of these concerns. But the issue is that it's typical Newcastle United syndrome. We've seen it for years and years and years that. It's like you always expect the worst and the hope that something better happens. But, if the neutral look at this and you look at Newcastle's squad and you look at Sunderland's, you look at the position of the clubs, where we are, it shouldn't be a worry whatsoever. But Len's right, it's one game. And the 2 things that worry me is, 1, the amount of ball that we'll have, the amount of possession, because I don't think that we've sort of played recently with a lot of the ball. And, what will our plan be? I think we're a better team when we can hit teams on the break. But we're also, I think that sometimes we're stuck at the break teams down if we're just looking for that goal. And I think that is probably when we have been sort of chasing games in that respect. I think that there's too much reliance on Bruno. The ball always seems to go to Bruno, and he's the only one that can try and do something to make things happen, to make things tick. So that worries us. The other thing is just a sending off. There's no VAR. I don't think that they have VAR, and I don't think
no, it's not VAR.
So that's a worry, because it just takes one little crap decision where the ref, gets carried away because it's a derby. They favour the underdog and they send someone off like a Bruno or Joe Linton, which you've already touched on. So that worries us. But I do agree with what Anders said, is that the first goal is massive. If we score the first goal, I think we'll control the game. It should be easy enough after that. But then again, do you know what it is? I'm talking about all this. I have no clue how they play. And this isn't being aloof or arrogant. I only know a couple of the players, and that's based on like what you've seen on social media. I don't know the style.
They're a passing side, they're a good passing side. They're not very physical though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know their identity. I know that they've relied on a lot of young lads coming through and stuff like that. So to me, just on the basis it's the FA Cup, it's a leveler in that respect. But I still think we win. I still think we'll win the game. I don't think it's going to be as convincing as I would like it to be. I'm probably will learn in the fact that I think it'll be 2-0, 2-1 or 2-0. I don't think there'll be much in it, but I'll go with 2-0, Rob.
Right, I'll go with Len, 2-1. I mean, hey Paul, there's no one wants it to be 4-0 more than me, but I don't know.
I do. I want it to be 4-0 more than you, Rob.
I don't know. It's a very tough one to call. It really is a tough one. My real concern is that because I've got a feeling they'll target Bruno. They'll say get at him, wind him up.
But they haven't got any hard men in there though. That's the problem.
Like just like niggle him all the time. He needs to keep his head for me like Bruno in that game, because it's going to be red hot atmosphere.
The one kid to watch is Jack Clark. He's the best player by a mile. He'll get a Premier League move in January. So I think he plays on the left. So hopefully Trippier can deal with him, or Livramento, or whoever's there, or Kraft. Maybe Kraft could come in.
I just think on the team, personally, I would make 2 changes from the team that played against Liverpool. I'd give Miley a rest, even though he's done nothing wrong. I think he's a fantastic player, but I'd try and shore it up. I think we talked about that those gaps in the midfield, and that's what you talked about before. And if you think about it, the prominent 3 last year in the middle of the park was Bruno, Longstaff, and Joe Linton. Yeah. I'd try and revert back to that just to shore it up and a little bit of familiarity. I'd bring Miggy back in for who's the other? So Miley, and who would be the other one that played?
Well, Joe Linton was wide, wasn't he? So you brought him like wide.
Yes, but the 2 changes. So Miggy would come in for Longstaff, and who's the other one that I'd bring? Oh, Livramento for Burn. I'd bring Livramento in for Burn. I'd put him left back.
Will he drop down Burn for a derby though?
I know that's the thing. It depends if Trippier's fit. If Trippier's fit, he plays. I think that you've got to drop Burn, and I think Livramento has to play. He has to, because if they're a young team with pace, then you've got to match in that respect. And let's be honest with you, I think self-admittedly, Burn has even said that he's not 100%. He's coming back from 3 broken bones and he's back, so he's not going to be up to speed sort of straight away. So yeah, that would be the 2 changes I'd make, if depending if Trippier's fit or not.
Excellent. Right, so we've touched on all that. So what's everyone doing for the match? Where is watching it?
Well, I'll be at work, so I'll be looking to get in for the kickoff.
Oh, gone sick. Get a curry on Friday night. Upset stomach. Works a treat. It's never failed me. Len, are you?
Hey, well, you know what it is. My wife's treating us to 2 nights in the Hilton Hotel on the quayside. Believe it or not.
Oh, the quayside. Very nice.
Yes, we've got a few things planned for Friday and Saturday night, and part of it is obviously watching.
Well, that's too much information, Len. We're just on it with the football, aren't we?
But then we're going to Comedy Club on Friday night. So
this is a family show.
I know. We're going to Stand Comedy Club on Friday night, and then on the Saturday we're going to watch more comedy, which is watching Sunderland against Newcastle. And then hopefully when we win, we'll spend the rest of the day partying, doing the tune, and that's the plan. If sounds not, like I don't know. I haven't got a plan B.
Yep. Owen, what were you doing for the game?
I think if it was my wife who booked the hotel on the quayside, I know what I'd rather be doing than watching the derby. I just don't. I don't want to watch it. I will watch it. I'll watch it in the house. I'm not going to the pub. I could have had a ticket. I didn't want to go to the game. I just don't want to be there. I will watch it on the telly. I'm just going to watch it in the house because obviously we've got the gig on the night time as well anyway. So I don't want to spoil that.
Yeah.
You will be spoiled, by the way, if we get beat. That's the thing.
Just
where are you watching it, Rob?
I'll be watching it in the house, Len. Just going to watch it in the house. It's just.
Hang on a second, lads.
At least Saturday night, at least Rob, Saturday night there'll be something decent, probably some ballroom dancing or something to turn over to watch when it's all gone pear-shaped.
Do you know what it is, right? What like, and I hope there's not, right. One of my concerns is I hope like there's not loads of trouble, you know, that like tarnishes the game. You know, like I didn't want to be like seeing videos on Facebook like Saturday afternoon, people like battling and flipping.
Yeah.
However, I
don't think there'll be a lot. They'll not get at each other, man. There's that much of it.
You know,
police presence, isn't there, going on the buses?
It's the pubs where it's going to be the problem. Like you know, like where I live, South Shields, or the
where they're a bit mixed.
Where that's always the problem. I mean, Newcastle, you're not going to get any bother or Sunderland because of the way that they've handled the transportation of the fans over. Which I think it's coming for a lot of scrutiny. But actually, if you think about this, distinctly, there's loads of effort went into that. So fair play that allows us to get the 6,000 tickets, you know. So,
but you're right.
It's free as well, isn't it?
There's a lot of mixed areas, isn't there, where you'll have mixed support in certain pubs, and you know, and it's an early kickoff, which I don't think it doesn't really change things, because the pubs will just open as early as they can, and people will drink twice as fast as they normally do, you know. So
it only takes one knacker. That's all it takes. One knacker full of drink. So. Right, lads, great having you on. Some great points made there, and we'll reflect on the weekend's results. Is you guys free on Sunday? Sunday afternoon?
Yeah,
it depends if we win. If we get no good or not.
Rob, I may not be, because I might still be on my little weekend down the Quays.
All live from the Hilton. Len Jones.
All live from the Hilton. I could be. I might be back. I might not, but don't worry about me. Go on, Rob.
Right, look. I don't want to sort of like interrupt your weekend away. If not Sunday, we can always do it on Monday. It's no big deal.
If it's Tita, if it's normal sort of 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm sure I'll be back. But if not, we'll work something out. And just a quick mention for Luke Littler, the darts tonight. 16-year-old Littler.
Yeah, fantastic.
Can't wait to see him pick up and get his £500 million for winning the darts. I know we don't normally talk about other sports, but he's been fantastic.
Apparently, he's taking all his friends to Alton Towers if he wins it.
I've read that, yes.
Aye, so good luck. Right, lads, great having you on, and we'll catch up over the weekend.
Yeah,
okay.
Good lad. Cheers.
Right, thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.
Boys.
We'll see you all soon.
See you later.